As a triple Aquarius, I always think I can think my way out of anything, whatever it is. If it's a problem, let's find a solution. No, that can't happen. You can't think your way out of a crisis, okay? You just can't. You know why? Because human nature always lashes out. Did you ever notice, you have a disagreement in the playground in middle school, maybe even after kinder in your secondary school or primary school, pretty soon kids are hitting each other. It gets worse, of course, in high school, and you end up at the principal's office and all that stuff. But that's not the point. The point is, it always happens. It happens over and over and over again. People get upset with each other, and mostly men get upset with each other, and they lash out. They smack each other. Women more likely to slap, but the point is they lash out. You can't think your way out of a crisis. You have to fight and go to war and get drones and bomb each other. It just keeps getting worse and worse and worse. It used to be that, the indigenous leader or the shaman would oversee whatever was going on, and there was small groups of people, just small groups of people with sufficient space around them. Rural space with small houses and shared water and lots of reasons to work together, and someone who oversaw when there was a problem. We don't have that anymore. We don't have that anymore. We do not have that anymore. We have people crowded in together and miserable. I just sat here today and watched Al Jazeera do a complete 5-city interview with people in the United States over struggling to get by. And you didn't see the anger there. You saw the sadness. But the anger was just under the surface. And we know the anger is just under the surface because if people are hungry, history has shown us, if people are hungry, they will fight. They will lash out. They will find somebody to blame. They will find a way. And the SNAP benefits have been cut. This is the part, this hits me personally. When I was in college and my dad was very sick with cancer, and he had promised to put me through college, and he couldn't. He discovered that his medication was going to cost him $300 or $400 a week, and he just said, "I'm sorry, hon, I can't do it." I had to do some quick jumping around, and I did, and I made it work, and I came out okay in the end. I didn't get a job, but I was able to finish school. But what got me about that was I had 2 months, 2 horrible months that I will never forget, when I was on food stamps with my 2 kids. It was just an awful experience, and yet a positive experience, because now I know exactly what it feels like to be limited to the tiniest little bit of money to buy canned goods with no labels on them, to not be able to buy toilet paper, normal like toothpaste, and to know that I wasn't sure what would end up happening. I finally got employment as a tutor, and I made less money than I got for food stamps, which made them investigate me. They had to investigate me. Can you imagine? I mean, there's no sense of pride and sense of honesty, and oh gosh. And yet we still lash out. And we lash out and we lash out and we lash out. And we see it right now. There's so many wars and disagreements and negotiations and lies 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 going on. And we're not getting things resolved because we don't have that level of dignity. We don't have that patience. We don't have that one trusted. Can we say trusted here? Can we say one trusted leader who we go to and have them work it out? Like in the Bible, there was a King Solomon, I'm not sure. 2 women claimed 1 baby, and the wise king said, let's cut the baby in half. And of course, the real mother said, oh no, give her the baby. We need somebody like that. We need someone who is honest, someone we trust, someone whose word we acknowledge as truth, someone who we feel like we would die for them. We would throw our lives in front of them to protect them. That's the kind of leadership we need to prevent us lashing out at each other. The frustration and anxiety and fear and vulnerability, and I can't tell you how many people. I'm here in Ecuador. So I was born in the States. My passport's the States. My husband was born in the States. He was a military man. My father was a military man, as was my uncle and my son. And we trusted. Not always, but in general, we trusted. And as the years have gone by, of course, I lived through Nixon, but when I was a little kid, there was Eisenhower. Oh, man, I mean, could you ask for a better grandfather? I mean, he just was such a figure of the one to go to for the answers. And that was what I was brought up with. I was brought up with, there's this wonderful man you can trust, and you can ask questions of, and you can call the people who work for him, and they will get the message, and you'll get the answer, and everything will be okay, and you won't have to be angry. But that's not the case now. I saw such sadness in that short television documentary. People with no option. Food shortages, feeding the kids so they didn't have enough to eat for themselves. There was one lady who was telling us that her insurance for health had gone from $238 a month to $3,000. $3,000 a month. I just couldn't fathom. How can you possibly do that? How can you possibly? I mean, as a working person, obviously, if you're a multi-billionaire or a multi-millionaire or a multi-thousandaire, then you might be able to do it, but not a working person. It's not going to happen. It's just not going to happen. And so when you find yourself in that kind of a position, it's not like it went up 20% or it went up 40%. It went up hundreds of percent. And that kind of situation puts you in the position where you either give up and cry or go off in a corner or get mad at your next door neighbor over nothing because you're so frustrated, so deeply into your soul. And it happens when our values and expectations and lifelong things we thought we could count on, and for sure, I mean, so many people thought Obamacare would be here forever. And poof. We always thought food stamps would be here, but poof. So how much worse will it get before we lash out? Brace yourselves. I think too many people are saying things will change worse before they get better. So keep in mind that what we need is a leader to work things out, someone we can trust, not someone who is going to watch us fight. If you'd like to talk about anxiety or fear or feeling vulnerable or feeling frustrated or feeling overwhelmed or having a solution, that would be great. I have an SKOOL school. It's called Summerland Trauma Caregivers, and it's about taking care of yourself after trauma so you can deal with the other things that are going on in life. But I don't care what you talk about. If you want to join me, it's free. I have 3 or 4 meetings a week. It's all free. My nonprofit is paying for my being there. I don't get paid, but I'm a volunteer. But the nonprofit is paying for the service, the online service. So if you want to join me, just stay till the end. There'll be information about it. Love to have you join me. Not only for you, but for me, because at almost 8 years of age, if I don't have a purpose, what am I doing here? Why did I come here? I don't have any family here. I don't have any grandkids here to take care of. I'm in Ecuador, trying to keep my husband alive. Vietnam veteran. Okay? So, if you want somebody to talk to, I'm available. Thank you.